Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. It's time for yet another edition of This Week in Master Duel. So, for those who are unaware, once a week, typically on Thursday or Friday, I like to go ahead and just cover everything that's been happening within the last week of Master Duel. As always, as ever, we're going to start with in-the-game notifications and see what's been happening new in the game. Then, we'll take a look at some of the leaks that have come out in the time since our last video. And then finally, we will look at tournament results, covering, again, everything that happened this week within the game of Master Duel. So, let's go ahead and pop up here to notifications. Of course, the big one that we covered extensively last week, except the actual day it came out. Well, the last This Week in Master Duel, I recorded it literally like the night before, so like ended up being like 8 hours before the ban list came out. So I had to make the ban list reaction its own like separate video, but it is what it is. So we already covered that in a video. We've actually covered that in multiple videos, extensively talked about the upcoming Forbidden and Limited list here. Just remember that applies at January 10th, so not just yet, but just under a week from the time that this video is going out. Also, if you are interested in checking out my opinion on the Forbidden Limited List update, yeah, again, I posted those videos very, very recently. If I remember to, I shall also link them in the description below, if I remember to. Alright, let's see. Oh, there's also the New Year Celebration Bundle. This is also available only until, well, it's available until January 9th. So basically when the game goes down for maintenance to put out the new ban list, then that's when this is going to be no longer available. So if you're interested in this, I have it here, this fun title screen as well as the matching deck box, and most importantly, a whopping 30 master packs for only 2024 gems, then yeah, I do recommend getting this bundle. As far as whether this bundle is worth it or not, that is something that I have been asked a couple of times, and my take on it is that master packs are the worst pack to open, generally speaking, because they are totally random cards, and if you're looking for one specific archetype or style of deck, then you're better off pulling from a selection or secret pack. However, when master packs are available at a discounted rate, then I think they become much more worth it. So, if you have the extra gems and you don't need to build anything specific, then yes, you can definitely spring for this pack. I do think that the value is good, but if you're low on gems and you're really saving up for one deck in particular, then in that case, I think you might want to pass on this and just pull from whatever selection or secret pack has the cards that you're looking for. So, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, regarding the new season of Ranked Duels is the exact same as it's always been. So, okay, with that, let me go ahead and pop over here to Master Duel Meta. There we are. Alright, so we do have a leak to discuss from just a couple of days ago, and that is going to be the Visus Amritera? Amritera? Is that how you say this card's name? I have no idea. The additional Visus support has been leaked. I thought I saw somewhere that the level 4 Visus monster was also leaked, but I don't see that anywhere here on the website. It's a little bit confused because sometimes I feel like Decade will, like, soft, quote-unquote, soft leak something where he'll talk about it, but then it doesn't get posted to Master Duel Meta. And then there's the more firm leaks, I guess, where they are posted to Master Duel Meta. So maybe that's just something I've seen said, but it just hasn't been posted here yet. But what is posted here is, again, the Visus Amritera. Again, maybe, I hope I'm saying that correctly. In any case, it is going to be a light level 8 warrior effect synchro monster that is also a tuner, so it is a synchro tuner. It has 2500 attack and 2100 defense. Hey, that's Dark Magician stats. And its materials are 1 or more tuners plus 1 light monster. It's definitely worth noting that there's no non-tuner in that requirement, so you could use all tuners to make this thing. Notably, you could use Manadia Meek plus Visus Starfrost, which are both tuners, to still synchro summon for this card. Okay, it says you can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. This card's name becomes Visus Starfrost while in the monster zone. If this card is synchro summoned, you can add one spell or trap card that mentions Visus Starfrost from your deck to your hand. During your main phase, you can destroy one monster you control. Also, for the rest of this turn, all synchro monsters you control will gain 800 attack points. So, wow, that is a very, very good card, especially for the Mannadium deck. In fact, if we are indeed getting a lot of the next wave of Visas support, then it is almost all very good support for the Mannadium deck. This card in particular, as I touched on before, can be synchro summoned by using Mannadium Meek plus Visas Starfrost. The effect that treats it as Visas Starfrost is already very, very good, because that means that you can link this card off for Lightheart, which I have seen some like OCG combo lines that do that, and that might actually be just one of the main combo lines. But yeah, I saw somebody just absolutely going off, something like the Crimson Dragon, all that stuff, in a tweet that somebody posted in the Discord recently. The card's 2 effect is probably the best one, though. Being able to add any spell or trap card that mentions Visas Starfrost, which is especially good because it's not limited to archetypes, right? Like, you know, Mannadium has a good number of spell cards that we want to add that mention it, as well as the reframing. Actually, this card is very much going to make Mannadium reframing a lot more consistent, allowing you to search it up a lot more easily. But if you needed to, it can also potentially grab Scareclaw Arrival, the Perla Rhino, I guess, if you really wanted to search another Visas after making this for some reason. The point being, like I said before, this is not limited to one archetype, but rather all of the different Visas archetypes have at least some amount of spell or trap cards that mention Visas Starfrost, and being able to pick from any of those for Mannadium is very, very good. And even the 3rd effect, while not necessarily the best one on this card, is still very relevant. The ability to pop your own monsters means that you can proc the Mannadium orb effects, or potentially just giving your monsters a boost might even be relevant. Note that it says all synchro monsters you control will gain 800 attack, and it says for the rest of this turn before that, meaning this is a lingering effect. It does not just apply to itself and any other synchro monsters that are on the field at that time, but it should also apply to any future monsters you synchro summon, if I'm reading this correctly. Which is, it's a really funny effect when you think about it, because it's funny mostly because Mannadium Primeheart, whose one thing is being able to do a lot of damage, is already completely overshadowed in his own deck, but is also just completely overshadowed as an OTK tool, even by this card as well, I think. It's just, it's kind of funny. Mannadium Primeheart, funnily enough, the big boss monster, ends up being just about the worst card in that deck, but it's not a bad card either. Now, I thought the other card that I mentioned before, let me see if I can search for it here real quick, because I thought I saw people saying that this other Visas card, the level 4 one, was coming out. Let's see, it would be down here in unreleased cards. Yeah, Visas Samsara, a light level 4 fairy tuner with 1500 attack and 2100 defense. This card's name becomes Visas Starfrost while on the field or in the graveyard. You can target any number of your Visas monsters that are banished in your graveyard and or on your field. Shuffle those Visas monsters into the deck, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do that, it gains 400 attack for each monster with a different original name. You can only use this effect as a Visas Samsara once per turn. If this card you control would be used as a synchro material, you can treat it as a non-tuner. Wow, this card is insane, and if we get this as well, then it is overall a massive boost in power to Mannadium. First of all, just being able to have a normal summonable Visas monster is very, very good. You can just normal summon this and go straight into the Lightheart, but it even has a way to extend itself onto the field. And also, those of you who have played with Ringo Worm, and more specifically the token that Ringo Worm summons, can attest that being a tuner that can optionally be treated as a non-tuner is very, very powerful and very flexible. In fact, just reading this, I'm like already speculating how you could potentially do some synchro shenanigans with this even beyond just Mannadium. But in general, like a level 4 tuner that can optionally be a non-tuner is definitely a very, very strong thing. So, again, I thought I had seen some more people talking about this card coming out, but I also haven't just seen it on the website, so maybe it will, maybe it won't, maybe it's just not fully confirmed, who knows. But if we're expected to get this card, then I think it'd be reasonable to also expect to get the other Visas monster as well. Yeah, really hoping we get those cards, because I'm already a huge Monodium fan. And that's the thing, too, about Monodium. It's already a good deck, like a very good deck. Regardless of if you think it's tier 2 or 3, I would argue that it's definitely above Rogue power level at its current iteration. And so to be getting even more extenders and even more extra deck monsters is just phenomenal. Great for the deck. Love it. We love to see it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some tournament tops now. Master Cup at number 25, I'm going to kind of work backwards. So the older tournaments we're going to look at first and the more recent ones. Of course, by older, I mean December 30th. Oh, no, a week ago. But, yeah, so Master Cup at number 25 was a 61-player tournament. This is, okay, yeah, it's a single Elim best of 3 with a side deck. So we see Runic Sprite coming into first place here. A deck that I haven't seen in quite some time, but if you look at this list, it's like, this is very standard. Like, there's not even any, like, out there tech that, like, really is, you know, hating on the format in any specific way, or anything like that. I mean, it's just, it's the 3 Apuria, the 3 triple tack, no lava golems or anything like that, just the Runic and Sprite stuff. And, you know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It is not uncommon at all to see these more like rogue or just decks you generally wouldn't expect to be winning tournaments actually out there winning tournaments. Because this person, like, I don't know who Teramier, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, I don't know who this person is, but I have to imagine they have a good amount of experience with Runic Sprite to have done so well with it. Maybe they've even continued to play it like since it's come out, right? And a lot of people who've kind of written off this deck might be like, it's funny because I remember seeing a comment in my stream just last night that, oh, all Sprite builds nowadays are cope. And I think that is the exact kind of mentality that keeps decks like this from being more in the meta spotlight, because it's pretty clear here that, you know, winning a single Elim best of 3 60-person tournament is no small feat. And I'm still thinking about that comment from last week on the Master Duel meta page that said, oh, another tournament played with all bad players. And it's like, again, if that's genuinely what you think, then, like, you're just 100% missing the point. And frankly, in my opinion, just kind of, like, determined to be, like, it's just the determination to have a narrow mindset that it's not possible to this person that the meta is more wide open than they think, and that more decks than they think of are capable of winning, which is what people want, by the way. So I don't know why people tend to be so opposed to thinking this. It's the sentiment that people vouch for, but no, that isn't possible. To this person, it's more possible that this tournament was just 60 bad players, which is like, it's not really missing the point, but it's really insulting to the people who play in these tournaments for, like, literally no reason other than to conform the world to your narrow mind view so that you can stay mad about Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, that's what I think it is, right? Because again, it's like I say, people want the game, like, generally from what I see in the comments, people like it when rogue decks do well, or at least they say that they want rogue decks to be able to do well. But then when they do, it's like, oh, well, everyone was just bad, clearly. It's like, again, it's this determination to be miserable that I frankly don't understand. But anyway, let's move on. We got a 60-card branded list here. I like the evenly tech with the thrusts. I've been thinking about this more a lot lately. Because usually I'll see, or even myself include, like, Harpy's Feather Duster. If you're playing a set of triple tactics talent, especially in, like, a 60-card build where you can have the space for it. But I was thinking about this lately. I was like, you know, wouldn't evenly match just almost always be better? I mean, to be fair, if you're going second, you do have to give up your battle phase for it. But at the same time, it can often accomplish what you want Harpy's Feather Duster to do in eliminating most, if not all, of a player's back row. But it also has a lot more flexibility in that it can hit monsters. Going first, you can search and set this as your only card and have the ability to eat their board. You have to survive their battle phase, but you could possibly pair it with hand traps in hand like Maxi and Ash Blossom. It just seems like a cool, flexible option with Thrust. So cool to see this person using it too. Were they on Duster as well? No, it was in their side deck. That's where I saw it. Okay. Oh, it's another branded. I've seen decks like this pop up quite a bit. It's like branded Synchro, but it's like Monodium branded or like Visus branded Synchro. It's not really Monodium, I guess, because they only have the Scareclaws and the Vises, but... Yeah, this, like, Scareclaw branded Synchro pile deck. It looks really cool. I definitely want to try out a deck like this, for sure. I mean, looking at this list here, I have literally all of these cards, so, yeah, no reason why I can't. Got another branded list here. That one was, what, 48 cards? Yeah, 48 cards. Typical average branded list, you know, being just a weird, wonky number. Oh, we have MathMech. Cool, very cool. Looks like they are on Microcoder Cynet Conflict. No spirits or firewalls, which is very interesting. But again, one of the big strengths of MathMech is that there are a ton of different ways you can build it, and almost none of them are bad. Labyrinth sneaking in here as well. Got the Nadir Servant package. Ooh, it's a Dark World deck, and this is like... Yeah, this is like Danger Dark World at its finest. Like, we are not even... Oh, I'm sorry, we are. We're playing one single... We're playing one called by, one max C. Oh my god, that's like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because I was going to say, this deck doesn't usually play hand traps or even really bother with stuff with, like, called by, but then I saw it here. Again, one max C, one call by, 45 cards. It's wild. But again, I mean, it top 8'd, so... And again, a 60-person single limb tournament is nothing to sneeze at. Congrats. Congrats to all these people, of course, but... Again, it's cool to me to see people do well with, like, more rogue decks. Mikonko here. This looks like a pretty typical Mikonko list. And cool, there we go. There is the Master Cup. But even at 61 players, because this is going to be the smallest tournament that we look at today. Evil League Season 9. 68-player tournament. Looks like this one was also single elim. Best of 3 with the side deck. Lots of Branded and Vanquished Soul. You're going to see lots of Branded and Vanquished Soul in these top cuts for these tournaments, which makes sense. I definitely do, and a lot of people expect them to be two of the better decks in the upcoming format here. Okay, 60-card Branded list. This one is on the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare package. I do still think at some point Albion Sanctifier just needs to go. I know I say it every time, but, like, you know... It's just clear, especially... I talked about this last week, but especially in best of 3 formats, like, the Gimmick Puppet lock is so much more consistent, and people... I say this every time I bring this up, but people still ask this every single time I bring this up, so I'll explain it again, that you cannot just ban Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, because then they just play DD Orthos instead, which has a similar summon lock, but for Fiend monsters only instead of Gimmick Puppets only. Now, you might be asking, well, why can't you just ban DD Orthos then? Well, if you ban DD Orthos, then DDD can't do its main combo lines. And at this point, we're just starting to gouge a bunch of really, like, off-meta / weaker rogue decks, just so Branded can keep Albion Sanctifier. And it's like, I'm not opposed to Albion Sanctifier inherently, except for the fact that it can put monsters on the opponent's field. It's like, if Expulsion got banned, then this card should get banned. Like, that's just all that's all I think about it. But ooh, Monodium. Hey, look, it's Branded. Okay, this is like a Branded Monodium deck. Again, it is the same kind of style of deck. I've seen it creep up, like, in enough of these tournament tops that I'm very, like I said before, eager to try out a list like that. Definitely let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Railgun here with the Vanquished Soul list. Dead Tube with the Sprite Live Twin deck. Very, very cool. I do think this is probably just the best Sprite variant right now. Lelouch with the Vanquished Soul list. I wonder if this is the Lelouch I see in the comments sometimes. If that is you, congrats. I mean, again, congrats either way, but... Also, this looks like it might have been a post-ban list tournament, because they're only on one Tickboo. Lemon, we always see Lemon out here top in tournaments. Yo, wait, I didn't see this before. Is this MathMech? Is this MathMech Rescue Ace? That is such a cool combo. I love that. Oh my god, MathMech Rescue Ace. That is, wow. Let me know if you want to see this deck too, because I could... That's actually a really smart combination too, because the MathMech deck, or rather the Rescue Ace deck takes no extra deck slots, so we don't have to make any room for... I mean, we do make room for the Swarm Ship and the Promethean Princess and the Sunlight Wolf, but that's not that much. That's cool. I like that a lot. Alright, got another Branded list here. Ooh, PK, PK, love to see it. 60 card PK pile. Yet another deck that, kind of like I was talking about Sprite Runic earlier, people just kind of stopped playing this deck. Well, I guess Shadow here picked it up because Terratop was at 3. Okay, so this was definitely a post-banless tournament, but... yeah, I mean, but even before Terratop being at 3, like, we saw this deck get, like, top 100 in the Duelist Cup and show up in Master every now and then, and even tournament results every now and then. PK is just one of those decks that it didn't get bad. It didn't become bad. People just stopped playing it. There's a huge distinction between that a lot of players just, in my experience anyway, fail to pick up on. Alright, next tournament is going to be the DK'd Meta Weekly from this week. 122 participants. Once again, single elim. Best of 3. No side decks, though. I believe that is the case for the DK'd Meta Weekly. And yeah, VS and Branded. Well, to be fair, Branded taking the same number of spots as, like, Labyrinth and Pearly. Generally, you know, decks that we expect to see. No Math Mech. Very, very interesting to see no Math Mech at all in the top. Alright, looks like Justinian won this week with Vanquish Soul. Fictinium. Hey, look at that. Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk. Yet another deck that people will say fell off or isn't good anymore. But this is actually a deck in particular we see a lot in tournaments. Yet another deck that did not become bad. People just stopped playing it. Mobile X with a 50 card branded list rocking the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare Lock, which again in a best of 3 it becomes a lot better and a lot more consistent than in best of 1. Aquila with the Rika Sun Avalon list here. Rika Sun Avalon is a deck I've thought about trying before and is not off the table for me, but at this time I will say I don't currently have any plans to play it. But I'm not 100% opposed again. OGBG with Pearly. I believe this was also yet post-banless. We have the One Delicious Memory here. Ooh. Love to see Adagnister. We love to see... I still need to play this deck myself. I only have, you know, a combo guide on my own channel with, like, one of the premier experts for this deck, but... oh, hey, April. April topping with Branded on a 49-card list. That's good. Congrats, April. That's awesome. Ooh, got another Pearly list here. The Dark Ruler No More and Evenly texts are pretty interesting. In a best of 3 format, this makes a lot more sense. I would not recommend playing these random one-ofs in best of 1. Titacon here with Pendulum Magician. We got Modar, Rockin', Lab, Tekken... the Deck Dev, which is a very good card, as well as the Compulse. And the Gozen. And a one of Solemn Strike. Interesting. LL Wood. I don't know why I'm saying everybody's names now all of a sudden, but... topping here with Vanquish Soul. Waylay Davy. Name we see all the time. Also with the PK... oh, this is the PK Mikanko deck. Oh, interesting. Ooh, with the Codebreaker package. Oh yeah, they're on some shit here. This is, yeah, I see the Isold here. With the MX Saber Invoker too, yeah. Waylay Davy up to some shit here with the 3 Terratop. I can't wait for 3 Terratop. I think that's going to open up a lot of really cool stuff. Oh yeah, this is so this is Bestial Sprite, but with an Orcus package. Very, very cool to see. And Speedroids! Speedroids with the 3 Terratop. That's so cool! So cool to see this deck do well. God, I would try it if it wasn't for, yeah, having to craft so many in archetype URs, but very, very cool deck. Very cool stuff. Alright, got another VS list here from Mikkel. Hopefully I said her name correctly. Sorry if I did not. Alpha on Lab, taking the Mudora and Keldo. Pretty good text there. I think we have a couple more tournaments to see. Always love to see the China tournaments, just to see what's going on in, like, other, you know, other cultures, other spheres, especially being so used to being separated by TCG and OCG. Here in Master Duel, where everyone actually does have the same ban list, it's always interesting to see which, like, because it's true that different countries or different, like, groups, different cultures will, like, produce different lists sometimes, or, like, you'll typically see, like, you know, it's the example of seeing people with, like, you know, kanji names being on Sprite Synchro. More so, I guess in my experience anyway, than players with like English-speaking names, because Sprite Synchro was a deck in the OCG, so like people there definitely know about it. I think more so than people here, where it really wasn't a thing because of Elf and or Chaos Ruler being banned. I mean, definitely both before we saw Assault Synchro on the TCG, I'm pretty sure, but... So here in this tournament, we got a lot of branded tops, I wonder if this was also post-ban list. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. 60 card branded list here. Was this, okay, so this was an MCS style with best of 1 Swiss into best of 3 top 16. This is kind of how I prefer it, honestly, but... So 60 card branded list, no Gimmick Puppet package here. It is in the side deck, though. Again, we see that the Gimmick Puppet package is very much better in a best of 3 format than it ends up being in best of 1. Which is honestly a reason why, and also because Albion is a UR, Albion Sanctifier that is, I can see a world where this card does not get banned. I really hope it does, but if anything, just to see some like variety in the branded decks that end up doing well in the best of 3 tournaments, because I have not run into this lock once on Ranked Ladder, but I don't know, the fact that it isn't as much of a problem in Ranked Ladder, and again, Albion Sanctifier being a UR, means to me it probably won't get hit, but we'll see what happens. We got Kashtira coming in second place, pretty typical cash list overall. Another 60 card branded list. Another one that's not on the Nightmare. It's not on their side deck either, but yeah. Best of 1 Swiss again. The Nightmare not being as good. Ooh, for higher Sprite. We definitely love to see that. Another 60 card branded list. Yet again, no Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, as that card is not as good in best of 1. Drytron. Oh, it looks like they're teching. I was looking for tech, so I was like... whenever I see a deck like Drytron creep back up, I'm always on the lookout to see if it's like just somebody bringing the deck back, as we were talking about before, or if there's a particular tech that makes it pretty good against the meta. They got the Herald of Greenlight, they got the Vandy's Ruler and the Jack in the Hand, but I think that's like not the most off-the-wall stuff for this deck to be playing. Again, deck isn't bad, people just stopped playing it. 60 card. Okay, this person is on Ido. Which is very interesting. Ido with the Sanctifier rather than the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. Excuse me. Which, this is also another reason why I think Sanctifier does have to go. And why we can't just, like, again, just ban all the cards that lock. Like, okay, Ido might not have, like, an archetype around it. It is a standalone card. And it, in a vacuum, could go. But again, if we ban Gimmick Puppet Nightmare and DD Orthos and Ido, then people are just going to keep moving down the list of cards that'll lock your opponent out of summoning stuff. And if they move far enough down the list, you'll find the literal entire Imp-Cantation archetype, which says each of those monsters say while they're on the field you can't summon from the extra deck. And again, at that point, if we ban everything that Albion could potentially put on the opponent's field that is a problem, rather than Albion Sanctifier itself, are we really calling to ban the entire Imp-Cantation archetype instead of, you know, again, Branded's 29th boss monster? It's like, the answer is very clear to me. Just get rid of Albion Sanctifier. I don't know why we're still entertaining the just ban everything else problem, or idea rather. It's not a good solution. Alright, another 60 card branded list. Not on the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. So we did have one that was still on Ido, despite playing in the best of 1 format, but like, yeah. Pretty expected to see less of the locking going on when the Swiss format is best of 1. And the Cola Cup. Cola Cup is going to be the last tournament list we look at here. Looks like it was the same setup as the last one. The MCS style, 6 rounds, best of 1 Swiss into best of 3 top 16. 133 players, so this was the biggest of the tournament. The tournaments, rather, that we're going to be seeing this week for their results. Alright, let's see what we got here. First place was 60 card branded Despia, yet again. And also, yet again, no Gimmick Puppet locking. 60 card branded Despia also came in second place. No locking in the main or side deck, looks like. Dinosaur, wow. Yeah, Dinosaur getting 3rd place here. That's so cool. Yet again, Rogue deck does well in tournament. Clearly, all 133 of these players were just bad. It's not true, by the way. But I don't think you need me to tell you that by this point. Ooh, this person's on tier limit with the 3 title. When I talked about title coming back in my extensive ban list video, someone did say that tier limit was going to be one of the decks that probably benefits the most from it. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. The water barrier statue is a little less cool, but nice to see people using the 3 title there. Alright, we got a lab. Bistio lab, looks like, even with the Lubellians. Here in top 8. Penda Magician, always finding its way into tournament tops. Math Mech, this person is on the Spirit package with the microcoder. Alright, this is... Oh, this is Sprite. This looks like... Oh my god, I don't know if anyone else ever has this issue with Master Duel meta, but sometimes the images just don't load. There we go, okay. Alright, this was Adventure Tri-Sprite. Wow, that's cool. Tri-Sprite, again, another one of those decks that we consistently see do well, but surely Sprite builds must be copium nowadays, right? And looks like that is going to go ahead and do it for our tournament top. So, I hope you all enjoyed the video here. I love doing This Week in Master Duel. It's really cool. I love just going through everything that's been going on, especially the tournament tops. I love staying on top of that and following that because it shows a side of the meta that a lot of people don't see if you only play in ranked ladder. And I think it's a very interesting thing to look at as well. So, yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Let us now just move to the outro. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching it all the way to the very end. That means a whole lot to me, and it's also a fantastic way to support the channel. And if you're interested in supporting the channel in other ways besides YouTube, there are plenty of ways to do that. If you check out the description below, you'll find a bunch of links down there. One of them goes to my Patreon. You're actually seeing the names of everyone subscribed to the Patreon on the screen right now. So if you're interested in getting your name in the credits here at the end, if you want to see more daily Master Duel content, or if you're interested in one-on-one private coaching sessions, I offer all of that on Patreon. I also stream live on Twitch. Feel free to go ahead and click that link and follow and or subscribe there. I also have the Discord community, if you want to follow that link, where hundreds of duelists have already signed up. Free to join, and you can just come hang out, talk about the game, and chill in general. Final link that's going to be in the description is my Twitter. You can follow that if you want some more notifications of what's happening with the channel. So, all in all, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.